Okay, are we on the Éarte? Yes, we are, because that's the name of the show. Welcome, I'm Simdaleth, and this is our Children of Éarte after show, where I am joined by an embarrassment of riches tonight, though I'm told they prefer to be called Lauren Urban, Jen Kretchmer, and Hope LaVelle, respectively. Thank you all so much for joining me, and please tell these fine folks all about yourselves while I gaze on adoringly, starting with Hope.
Ah, me? Okay. What do I normally say? I don't know. Okay, hi, I'm Hope. You can follow me on the socials at the Hope LaVelle. Yeah, that works.
Lauren?
Brevity, it's the soul of wit. I'm going to follow this example. Hi, I'm Lauren. You can find me on the socials as Obo Lauren. Thank you.
And hi, I'm Jen. You can find me on the social as Dreamwisp.
I started
and
as
the
Ren.
laconic interviewees tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I must suspend my admiration for just a moment because I couldn't possibly ghost our sponsors, including Idol Champions of the Forgotten Realms. We're giving away 2 codes. You can type code in chat for a free Electrum chest in game. There's Die Hard Dice. They purveyors of the finest of clicky clacky math rocks. Use code Éarte at checkout for a 10% discount. We will be doing a giveaway in chat during the stream. And Sirenscape, because epic games require epic music, which may or may not contain raindrops on roses and or whiskers on kittens.
Well, this show is a few of my favorite things.
See? I have a few right here. But if you want to watch these favorites and have a question of your own, like when exactly is the right time to take a rest so we don't get absolutely bodied in combat, you can do that by asking your question with question in all caps.
Anytime before diving into combat. Maybe.
Anytime.
Yeah, I would like to plead the fifth.
Let's just roll on into that. How are you feeling right now? I'm sensing a little bit of tension in the team. How's it going? How you feeling? How many resources are there here, actually? Are we going in good and strong? I know, Hope.
I know. Okay, so to be honest, like, I haven't used up too many resources because we were incredibly lucky during that battle. Like, everything went our way that could have gone our way. I think what we're all a little nervous about is, and I'm looking at it right now, which is why I keep looking off screen. I should stop looking at that, is how injured we were at the end of that. But I can only speak for myself when I say that when we came back and then went through the portal with Ivy, I got, like Neb, very distracted by, shiny new place. And by the time I realized that maybe I should have taken a short rest, we were being attacked by water. So that's me. I'm as long as I don't die, I'm okay for stuff.
As long as I don't die.
I am my own stuff for some things. But for other things, that stuff is gone really quickly. So and I was pretty beat up after the last fight as well. So yeah, I'm kind of in a similar boat where if I survive, that would be great.
Survival is the ideal.
Yeah, the goal is to get through this.
Hope, have you overtaken Lauren for most death saves? Most times down into the death saves?
Not even close.
No.
Are you tracking it? Wait, that was a really fast answer.
I don't think anybody even needs to track it. It's
Neb.
Lauren has a gold medal right now.
Yeah.
Or I mean,
Neb does.
Or like, is it the gold medal or is it like the participation prize? Like, which end of the spectrum? I don't know.
Is it the red medal?
I'm sure there's people out in chat who have also been counting. But I will say, Robin has had a lot more close calls recently than Neb.
Yeah, Robin's a little squishy, so I think what it is that Robin just likes to be in the spot where things happen. I'm trying to play Robin as a protector, and therefore throwing myself into danger, throwing Robin into danger is kind of what she does. She's like, hey, look at me, don't look at them, look at me kind of thing. Even though I'm not a tank, she still wants to protect.
Was Robin ever a flight attendant? Because I wonder if was she?
No, she wasn't. She was
That's the reason she doesn't know the put on your own oxygen mask first.
Yes.
Ooh, that was a beautiful setup. Oh my goodness.
It's true.
There you go. I'm here for it.
Wait, I hope you were about to say. I felt like there was something starting with, but she was a.
She was a biplane flyer with pilot. Thank you. Yeah, biplane pilot. So she never really did like commercial airline, but yeah, she did like farm planes and stuff, crop dusters and stuff.
Are we surprised that Robin did the cooler version of the thing? Really?
You really shouldn't be by now. I just wow. How can one person be so cool? This is my interview question. This is my official interview. Robin,
it's called We Play a Game of Imagination. We can do whatever we want. So I just made like this amazing character.
The real answer is because it's Hope LaVelle playing her.
Aww.
That's really true. I mean, you can't have a character more socially acute than your capacity to pick up on a thing. Likewise, a character's awesome is going to ultimately be bottlenecked by the player's awesome, in my opinion. You can instantiate backstory and say that makes you cool, but I think it takes the player.
Aw, shucks. Thanks, guys. Takes one to know one.
Mutual Admiration Society, go!
No, but seriously, it is the first in a sequence of fights on our way into this new realm that involved wrapping out a major milestone for the party. You put the mirror together.
Right?
People went down to the mirror. Like the TV in the ring, I think, maybe. Right? Was this where you thought you would be at that point? Putting the mirror together, did you think that would be the end of things and now you're smack dab in the middle? Or
okay, when we started this game, I swear I thought the whole the map, this map of the train, I thought that was the game. Like, I thought that was the end. Like, if we make it back around, we get all the shards, the game is over. So I was like, let's draw this out as long as possible. And then I find that, that was just the beginning. I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much more. I was really, really blown away by that.
Good, not just me.
I'm trying to remember what I thought before we got a lot of information, because there was a point fairly early on, or ish on, in where we realized that putting the mirror together might give us options, but that it wasn't necessarily the end. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I was expecting a fight to happen until the episode beforehand. The whole time I really thought it was going to be I thought leading up to it that it was going to be kind of a heavy role play moment, because all of our characters have been talking leading up to there about, okay, we're going to put the last shard in, and this is potentially the way that we get a chance to go home if we want to. Is this the choice point in where you're going home? So I kind of thought, up until it became obvious, oh no, we're going to lock horns with a bull, that we're going to put the shard in and then free Ivy and then have the come to Éarte or come home or come wherever you're going to go moment. So what happens next? I'm not upset at all about what happened, because I think it's super cool, but it was, if you had asked me 3-4 months ago I would not have expected a fight.
Yeah, I didn't have a ton of expectations, to be completely honest. I try not to presuppose. I say this as the weird compulsive puzzle solver, where I'm always thinking ahead in some ways, but in terms of what is going to happen, I don't plan that much ahead in terms of, like, I didn't have a ton of expectations. I think I had more suspicion of Ivy, but I didn't know where the mirror was going to lead. And I guess once we found out about the rulers, I figured we would probably have to go check out each of those realms. But otherwise, yeah, I don't really feel like I had expectations of where this was going to go, because there isn't anything that would have given us those expectations. Like if we weren't reading, a Hans Christian Andersen book, and we had something that sort of plotted like a completely original story that we had been given that gave us a course of a story, I might have expected to hold closer to that. But because that's not how it worked out, I had no real plan. That's a long answer for I had no clue.
Well, it's been what, 2 years so far of this game, so there's a lot to kind of ruminate on. I think we didn't really have enough hard, not evidence, but like knowledge to go on of what could possibly happen until somewhere between the town with the zombies and Pivum, right? Because like Pivum like helped us answer a couple of questions. At that point, we knew we could talk to Ivy at 213, and so we were able to get her story. There was like a month in where it was just like lore dump galore, and I think it was amazing, but it was also like it took us a while to parse through all of that. And I mean, it was delicious. I loved it. It was great, but it was a lot. And so
yeah, we haven't come across a lot of people to talk to or resources that gave us world lore to use as a way to frame things and set up expectations until we hit Pivum. So even with Ivy, it was such a limited amount of time to get any information.
Yeah.
So I think for me, that really tempered my sense of what, not tempered, that's the wrong word, but it made me not anticipate the same way I would have if I had more information to work off of.
I mean, that's one of the many reasons, it's not high on the list, but it's one of the many reasons that Neb tries to talk to everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it will continue, even though now we probably have actual people that are going to be talking to us. But like literally, that was kind of part of the impetus of, I'm going to talk to this animal, I'm going to talk to this plant, I'm going to talk to this rock. It was like, someone may have answers to something. Also, it's Neb. But like, that was one of the reasons of like, maybe this is the tree we'll get answers from. No, tree's just sad.
Maeve's skill is talking to people, and I say people as in people plural. I think Maeve talking to person is not great. Maeve kind of one-on-one, but when Maeve can sort of play people off of each other and sort of use social systems, that's where she can really get a lot of information. And in terms of how I've built the character, that's what she's always been sort of set up to do. And we have not had anything where that's been an option yet. We have not met a lot of people. So yeah, the places I would normally glean and the ways I would normally try and glean information for Maeve have not been options yet. But when you get us to, like, if we end up in a place that has lots of people and armies and, factions that she can try and, play against one another and things like that, that's going to be, I think, where it'll start to get interesting in terms of the social dynamics. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, and now we're in a new realm with plenty of
Fish.
Or we're calling them back, or we're going to go up top and talk to dead people. I mean, both of those things can happen. Soon we're going to have a lot of people to talk to.
That's the hope. But before I scoot too far past talking to every plant and animal as potential exposition vehicles, what do you think you / Neb most want to talk to that you haven't yet?
Oh, jeez. Poor Deb has had to create so many characters on the fly out of inanimate objects.
Look, we got Nicholas out of speaking with animals. None of us are like, it's just too good to not.
What have I not had a chance to talk to? Neb wants to talk to the moose more, or and Lauren and Neb feel the same way. We want to be the facilitator for Fairuza and the moose to have a discussion. Like, I talked to Alicia about that, actually, about like how I would want to help play that out role playing wise, of like have Neb start to be the translator, but then I would just be like, hey, I'm translating, and then let them just have a conversation together. So yeah, I think getting more than run, I'll take care of this. It would have also been nice to figure out what the giant thing crashing through the forest that killed all the wolves was. Neb is more upset at whatever that was than I am, so I don't know if she would have talked quite so much, but we never got a chance to talk to that being. Who knows? We may be able to come back to the Vale at some point, but yeah,
I think that's probably something we'll run into later.
Maybe. Or I could see us having a reason. We don't exactly know for sure, but I got the sense that in order to hop between these 4 realms, that the Vale is the connection point. And so
unless we find a scribe.
True. Unless we find a scribe. So
well,
yeah.
That said, we are in Tyver for the time being in that kind of quest-locked zone after having left the Vale map, and our own Demiplane RPG wanted to ask whether there was anything before you got yourself quest-locked that you wish you could have gone and done in the Vale and explored more, other than apparently the Great Moostery.
This might sound weird, but I really would have liked to complete the circle and seen what the train station would have looked like when we got there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Same. I was really curious about that. I kind of was hoping that cutting through the woods would get us there. You know, that we could have completed that path we were on. Because I think each of the train stations were really different. Excuse me. Each of the train stations were really different and really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
This is post-DMing voice.
No, that's fine. I never even thought about that. I think in the back of my head, making it back to the station was essentially the decision to go home. Like, of course, I'm not going to go back to the station. Neb doesn't want to go back. She wants to continue in this world.
Not for me. Not the starting station. The last in the circuit, but not the full loop.
Well, yeah, for me the full loop, because
for you, the full loop.
I think it would have been a really cool story moment to either get there and there be nobody, and like to be still in the Vale, but just kind of feel this emptiness of like the world is not here, or for that to be where we put the final shard in and have a story point of like, now we have to make this decision, go through the portal or whatever that takes us back to the real world, or continue on and say goodbye to that world and physically have to step away from it, you know.
Oh, interesting that station is always sort of the point of transit.
Yeah,
that's interesting. I like that.
It's a beautiful sentiment, whether it's the way it could have gone or not. I like that idea a lot. I honestly never had even thought about that. So that would have been cool. Although we're without a train now, so it would have been a little weird. Whoops.
Yeah,
Maybe
I was
there's a
the other.
scalar rail yard.
I would have liked to finish exploring the train. Since we never actually finished that.
Did we ever find? Wasn't
the
there something?
silver?
The silver?
No.
No,
Mm-mm.
we were bad
I
about
have
exploring
my
the train.
theory about it, but yeah, we sort of ignored that, and I was really curious what other things and information were aboard the train.
Yeah.
We
I
kinda-
mean,
Mhm.
I wasn't expecting to lose the train. That was wild. I still can't get over that.
Yeah.
Oh, that literally turned things upside down. It was.
You know what though? We're talking about all these regrets, and in a way, I actually like that we have these regrets.
Yeah.
I think it's super cool that this isn't that we were able to finish out the quest log before going on to chapter 2, because like wanting that feels real to me, and then it also feels like that's why the stuff that we did felt so important. You know, like
Choices matter.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And so it's the, oh, it'd be nice to know, but it's more of an academic sense, I think,
Mhm.
than actually wanting to go and like do the check mark and finish the quest. So
No, I think that was the moment when I was like, holy cow. I mean, that avalanche that happened where we were underground, and that really hit me. It's like, oh my God, we could die. Like, it felt like the stakes were so real, because they are for our characters. This isn't just like you hit 0 points and then somebody heals you and you come back or blah, blah, blah. I mean, this really felt like, oh, there's no coming back from this if you mess up or if you make the wrong choice. And then the train being gone, it's like, wow, there are real consequences. So I've never played a game like this before.
Until you talked about losing the train, I don't think I quite put together Debs twists on D&D tropes. You started off on that train by spending a good session and a half fighting a door, and then the adventure literally went off the rails.
mm-hmm.
I never quite caught how perfectly on the nose it is. I admit, I wish I could get Robin that photo from her trunk.
Oh.
Right? Like Neb is in the back of my head, so upset. Well, she doesn't know. Lauren knows that Neb is so upset because Lauren knows that photo is there, but I don't think Neb does. And yeah, in that moment of like, well, of course she would grab the quilt because that makes the most sense for what we need. But like, it breaks my heart.
It was very good gaming choice, a very mature gaming choice. And though it ends up breaking my heart in like a good way, but anything else anyone misses on the train, not just like we couldn't just explore it anymore, but also like obviously Silas's towels are lost to time. But anything else any of y'all had?
I have to say that I don't know if I'm allowed to unveil. I feel like Adam has already talked about this, but he had like a ton of D4s. Silas has a ton of D4s in his backpack that I think he lost, that he was going to use to like throw down on the ground for like enemies to step on. And so I thought it was just such a creative little idea, and I don't think he ever got to do that.
I think he does have them because he has his dice sets, doesn't he?
Oh, does he?
He has the
I think
dice.
so.
He
I
has
don't
got the
think he
dice
has the
sets.
mechanical D4s because he did talk about them last month when he was
Oh,
on.
okay.
So it isn't a spoiler. It's all good. It's
I
all
can't remember
good.
if he.
Yeah.
But we did also at the same time note just how many dice he still had on hand. So the question is, can you kind of make a little subset from having enough dice to supply all of y'all just on hand, not in the stuff, not in the trunk or anything. Just he's a guy who brings dice with him everywhere, and I love him for that. Thank you, representing for the dice goblins everywhere. Die Hard dice.
I'm trying to think if there's any stuff. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I mean, they're all the books. I mean, I for me, it's a lot of things that it's like you don't know what you need, and having a train is an amazing resource. And there's the fact that train had existed for as long as it had, that sort of, that it was almost it was vintage, and that it's gone is, I think there's something. I think Maeve is a little nostalgic, and the idea of something that had lasted that long no longer being in the world is a little sad to her.
That's a little sad to me. I hadn't thought of that. Lauren, you were going to mention something for whether or not Neb had stuff.
Oh, I don't think she has anything physical, at least of the stuff that she brought on the train, because like all the stuff that the vast majority of the stuff that kind of means something to her at this point is stuff she's picked up along the way. Like there's the practical stuff like clothing, and she's got a few little things, but like I just did a quick look through my inventory of, okay, what would she be upset to lose? And honestly, it's the stuff we've picked up in the Vale. It's the Polaris mug, it's the straight razor and the leather sharpening strap, it's the tiny little number 18 crowbar, it's the Book of the Wildlife that she got. So like, and I don't know if that was totally an unintentional on my part, but that also kind of makes sense for her in that she'd be okay with just leaving so much of her old life behind. I think she misses the train itself as a home. But as far as the stuff goes, nah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about some stuff or friends or we made along the way. Let's talk about the doll army. Yes! What of all of the things one could do when confronted by a doll army? Here, hop in my bag. I admit, provincial though I might be, that one was new to me. What inspired it, and what are you gonna do?
Well, okay. So Deb and I had a conversation after Robin had put on the necklace about, treasure hunting and what that means to different people. And she said, what does treasure mean to Robin? And it's not quite conventional treasure, Yes, sure, she likes when wearing the necklace, the shinies will pop out as shinies, but there's something more sentimental about the things that she covets. So, the dolls that look like the doll she had from her aunt or whatever it is, those look like treasure to her. So that kind of played into all of these things are special. They're special, they're treasure. So I'm going to take them, because that was how I had to play it with the necklaces. If I see treasure, I got to try and get it. So yeah, but now that I don't have the necklace, it's kind of like, it's like I personally wanted to get rid of them, but Deb had other ideas, I guess, because she was like, nope, the dice say you're keeping them. We'll deal with them eventually.
I'm sure nothing will go wrong. Robin's doll army.
And you know what? Let me check the character sheet. Robin is not really charismatic, so it's kind of like when it comes time to like persuade the dolls to do something, it probably won't go well. Like, I would love the idea of spilling them out and being like, go attack the bad guy. But that's just gonna all come down to a roll, and I don't know if we're gonna be lucky enough. But either way, it'll create some chaos, and that'll be fun.
I wonder if you could pull them out one by one and throw them at things, like Nutcracker, go, and then just throw it at a creature that we're trying to attack.
That sounds amazing. All right.
Only if it then attacks them and not turns around and attacks us. Like,
Yeah. Once again, the persuasion.
Well, that's what the throwing arm is for, right?
Yeah.
Right. If a fastball special, then no charisma check.
There you go. You need Fairuza to go and grab a Nutcracker and then toss it.
Right, because she's not going to toss her own Nutcracker.
Nope.
The fuchsia Nutcracker is staying right here, but the rest of the doll army, I mean, the paper might be kind of like throwing a paper plane.
Oh yeah. Just fold them up. Oh, that's great. I gotta use that. Back in my day, I won a paper airplane contest. Who knows?
Right.
I'm in the Guinness Book of World Records for the farthest throw.
That's awesome.
Who knows?
Amazing. I want Robin to gain additional professions the same way anyone else would gain new proficiencies.
Oh, just unlocking memories of jobs she
or new
had, and just
or new things that she's learned to do in the Veil.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, honestly, that's why I think that Robin is going to be the scribe. Or if we get the chance to teach someone how to be the Robin, because who better than the person who picks up all these different jobs, who's had all of this life experience, than Robin to be the scribe.
Well, I don't know if I've unveiled this yet in any of these on the Éartes, but at this point, I think everybody has figured out Robin's class. As she has her album, her photo book, and I've been meaning to do this more and take more pictures, but every time she takes a picture, she puts it in her book. That the whole point was to take pictures of experiences that could then be called upon basically in her spell book. She's remembering job experiences through the pictures of her album. So she takes a picture of everything that might come in handy as an experience that she needs to look back on. So it would be interesting to look back at the pictures that she has taken and maybe make a new spell or something off of that.
Or we find whoever is the current scribe and you take a picture of them.
Ooh, done and done.
So many plans we're hatching tonight.
It's like stealing someone's soul through the camera. It's like your experience and job is now mine.
Maybe that's how
You sure you're not a warlock?
Yeah, right.
Sure, there's not a pact of the photographer there happening.
That's a Fae pact.
I love it.
I was going to say fiend, but could be either one. Fiend or Fae. You could do an interesting photographer, fiend or Fae.
Fiend.
Oh, I love that.
Photographer fiend.
Oh.
Okay.
I love it.
For whatever reason,
have to happen.
The camera and the taking of the pictures feels very Fae to me. But the actual pictures themselves feel fiendish. I don't know, maybe it's the picture Dorian Gray kind of thing that I'm thinking of.
Oh, I like that. Ooh, that can get nasty at higher levels. I mean, it's Pollard. Who knows how film develops under magical conditions and what it might be capable of here. So, not only for story and advancement and spellcrafting's sake, but also for the fan artists who want to draw the pictures that you take. Please take pictures. Absolutely.
Ooh, I wonder if Silas could make a roll of film, and as long as you take a picture before, however long it is before it disappears, the picture sticks around.
Ooh.
Like if your
That's interesting.
picture magic could make the pictures stay.
I think that sounds like something Deb would go for.
People in the chat are like, we had questions and now this has just turned into a planning session.
That's what happens when you get a bunch of DMs
Yeah.
in a room.
Is that what it's like? As an always player, I'm on the outside of those things. So it's just like this. You plan to throw your items like Pokemon without the Pokeballs at your enemies. And you plan photography.
Yeah, actually, yes.
It's basically what DMing is. Yep.
Yep.
The more you know.
It's DMing without knowing the plan.
From what I understand, that's typically called DMing.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's a lovely example of a spell that and a mechanic that feel a little different as a result of the modern flavor in Children of Éarte, which hits so delightfully in cases like those and in other. Tell me about the sandcastle and how you chose that. This is just my transparent segue to asking what motivated, of all of the things that what was it Robin's remarkable residence could have been. Why did you choose that Robin should be thinking of sandcastles that may or may not be destroyed by Nebmeese? That we don't talk about that. Beautiful sandcastle. Go.
It's funny because sandcastle, when I was looking at the spell, I was like, how can I justify, because I always try to justify the spells with an experience. So when I looked at like what would a place that can be built by hand look like, and is thinking about Robin feeling like she misses the warmth of the sand, and like, thinking about how she used to build sandcastles on the beach as a kid, or really what it was in my brain. I don't think I said this, but maybe Robin was used, like maybe one time she won a sandcastle building contest or something, so that was the first thing that came to my mind. And then after I had made it, I thought up a better idea, and maybe I'll be able to use this next time. So I don't know if I'll. Basically, Robin and Harold used to build forts in their living room, pillow forts, and so even just as adults, and I think that might be what I do next time. Maybe each time it's something different.
That's amazing.
But yeah, so maybe next time the hut will look like a big fort, like a big pillow fort.
This question comes from a member of our audience, Sam to Love. How are Robin and Harold so goals?
I feel like I should be taking notes every time I learn something new about their relationship.
I certainly do.
Mm-hmm. I love them. When once again, you can just picture like what's the most wholesome and sought after type of relationship, and I just that's how I picture them, like the good old days when you found true love, something special.
It's so sweet, and to therefore follow up with perhaps a similar flavor as a palate cleanser, we have a quick question from Fool Oops. What's the best snack to have during gaming? What fuels these choices?
I have to make one choice. Oh no.
I will not so restrict you. I'm indulgent.
It's 'tis the season, and a lot of people aren't going to like this answer, but 'tis the season. I really like candy corn.
I'm here with you. I love candy corn too.
It's so easy.
We've been there together.
It doesn't make a lot of noise when you eat it. It's easy to pop. It's just, it just keeps you going. Just a little bit of sugar, little sugar rush, and you're good to go. Yeah, that'd be my choice.
My go-to for decades has been those the sour rips that you get at 7-Eleven. They're like pieces of like sour candy belts, and it comes in 2 flavors in 1 pack. It's a little blue baggie. Yeah, that's been forever part of the lineup for sure.
I cannot eat while I am playing because even if it's offline, even if it's like a home game with friends and stuff, it's too much like still a performance for me, so it feels weird. But afterwards, I am always starving, and if I can get a hold of anything peanut butter, that's my go-to. Even if it's just a spoon and the actual jar of peanut butter, but if it can be a peanut butter sandwich or if it can be a peanut butter and an apple, or yeah, but I'm not picky either. I get done with a performance and my partner has gotten very used to having a little spread ready whenever I'm done with a gig.
Aw.
Aw. Is that the same that you go for with concerts, or is it different?
It's exact same. 100%. I cannot be thinking about eating before or during
But is it also peanut butter though?
oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Ooh,
Uh-huh.
all right.
It's all the same in my weird little brain. It's all the same kind of performance. It's all the same kind of stuff. The only time I ate during a show was years ago with marshmallows for a recent character. So, but that was a character thing.
Character marshmallows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course. It's reasonable. Creamy or crunchy?
Well, either. Honestly, either.
Excellent answer.
Although I will say, if I'm gonna spoon right out of the jar, I'd prefer crunchy. But otherwise, either will make me happy.
Little bit of texture, but let's
Mhm.
bring it into character then with a follow-up and indeed a very serious question. Good berry pancakes? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an actual regret. If we still had the train and had the time, I think Neb would have totally experimented with all the good berry stuff that we wanted to make. The good berry pancakes, the good berry muffins, the good berry insert other food here. Although it would probably be a
Good berry
big,
queen.
yeah. I mean, with what was left on the train, it would have to be, and also with what her skills are, it would have to be a baked good of some sort. It would have to be flour based. But yeah, if we had the time and the wherewithal, yeah.
Good berry croissant.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay. Thank you, chat. Now I'm hungry. But since y'all started riffing and Deb instantiated, I should at least ask, quick poll. Do you think, as Pivum insisted, snozberries are real in Lorelia? And if so, does that mean Roald Dahl was a scribe?
I mean, yes to the first bit for me.
Agreed on that.
Does that mean Raul? I maybe. I like the idea.
How else do you know about the snozberries?
I mean, I like the idea of I kind of in now in my head there is a redacted franchise episode of style Roald Dahl visits Lorelia, and that like the worlds create the inspiration for the stories thing. But yes, that's sort of where I'm going, is the idea that those worlds inspire. Like, I like the idea that stories are a dialogue between the magical realms and our world, because I love the idea that creativity and art are sort of this weird, I'm very much on this tangent of like creativity and art being this thing that is many things at once. And so the idea that stories are kind of many things at once and many realms at once.
I love
fits
that
for me.
idea. I mean, that feeds right into the whole idea of the classic bard being the storyteller who's also basically the town crier. You went to the bards because they're the ones that knew the news of the day, but they wouldn't just tell you, like a bullet point list. It would be a story. They would be entertaining about it. So absolutely, I'm there with you.
I mean, would you say perhaps that life might therefore be the most wonderful fairy tale. Doesn't seem so off theme. But speaking a little bit of Pivim, because I love Pivim so much, y'all, on behalf of the audience, thank you. You talked the NPC into staying on past the, like, this is the difference between the video game and the tabletop, right? The video game, you can't make the NPC come with you into the, like, point of no return change of map zone.
Mm-hmm.
And this time, Pivim did. Did it feel like you were breaking GM signals to persuade? Did you just really want to bring him, and so you figure worth a try? Talk to me a little bit about getting our wild shaping friend to come with us.
I feel like if there were DM signals, I missed them, which could happen. Also, I feel like if Pivim was absolutely not supposed to come with us, there was going to be no argument that would have persuaded at all. The only reason that Neb tried was because the reasoning that she had was something that she believed, which is this is really your better chance of getting home. You know, you've been here in this place for so many years. Let's try something else. And if you stick with us, now you're not alone in this search. So it was an earnest. This isn't just that Lauren wants Pivim to stick around, but this is like, honestly, Neb and Lauren think that this was a good idea. I mean, I might be wrong about missing cues, but
I agree, and I think I think our group has enough ways to communicate with one another. If that were really overstepping, if we were going past GM expectations, and obviously Deb is a phenomenal GM and can lay down those rules pretty clear, like can make adjustments to make sure it's not possible.
It could have been a video game if she wanted.
Yeah, and so I think the DC was probably pretty high, but I think we gave enough valid reasons to make it worthwhile to fit in story. So I don't think it was I don't think we went past what was reasonable in that.
Does Maeve sincerely believe as Neb when Maeve made the infinite showers argument?
Oh, absolutely. Maeve was like, well, that seemed to be the thing. Maeve is very good at going, oh, this is the thing you like to do. I'm going to be able to take that information. And for Pivim, that was the thing that Pivim was so excited by. And where is there more water than a world that's all water based? Why not? So that seemed to be a very clear negotiation strategy in that moment.
Infinite showers. I mean, admittedly, it could probably persuade me to do just about anything on the promise of infinite showers. They're delightful. But it brought Pivim to Tiver, and it's brought all of y'all. And Lauren, you already mentioned that you're excited. Neb's excited to explore basically everything, and like talk to whales and all that good stuff. Anything that's particularly salient for all of your characters that you're looking forward to doing here, or like what is the top of the proverbial quest log now that you are somewhere new? Things that might be distracting or anything like that.
Not dying currently.
Okay.
Is at the top
A
of
fan of that.
of Robin's list at this moment. But Robin definitely wants to speak with the dead. That's what she wants to do here. She definitely heard that and was like, oh, we need to do that.
Yeah, a little bit of distraction there, as I recall.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense.
I feel like we just don't even, or at least I don't want to speak for other people. Maeve doesn't know enough about this place yet to have a goal beyond what has been put in front of us. So I think the next goal for Maeve is find out more about this place, like figure out what is available here. What does this world look like? Who are the peoples of this world? So much of what Maeve is always curious about is sort of social dynamics and power structures and things like that. Even though she even to herself, I think, doesn't believe she's really that interested and tries to distance herself from it. But she's very curious. And so that I think is the next thing for her, is like figure out where we are and what this place is about and what are the physics of this world, because clearly we're in a place where we can swim and breathe and talk and but we're underwater, and what else is cool and different here.
Lauren, anything to add?
I mean, besides talking to everything, I think this is a roundabout answer, but on top of wanting to talk to everything, I think the whole group still has some reservations about Ivy, and I think that's fair, but at least in that moment where Ivy trusted us to go off on our own in her world and go do a thing, to Neb felt like that was a sign of trust. It's not, gonna mend all bridges. I know. Yeah.
See, to me, I'm like, she has our oxygen tanks. She has control of our oxygen tanks and can shut those off at any time.
I just think that it's a trap. She just sent us right into a trap.
Yeah.
So,
but why go through all that trouble? Like, it seems like a really convoluted, complicated trap, right?
Because some people enjoy that toying with their food. I don't know.
And
we just don't know enough, and we don't know enough about her in her original form.
She has seemed to change a little bit
before she was Ivy. We know that she gained a degree of humanity by living in Éarte, and we don't know who she was before that. And so finding out more about that, she could have been a really benevolent ruler, she could have been a tyrant, and we just don't have any concept of that.
No, I totally agree.
I'm so wary of Ivy. I feel like I'm overly wary of Ivy.
No, I think I'm pretty wary of her too. Neb is way more. I guess it's trusting. It's more on the face of things. She's willing to accept things at face value. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that when she sent us off, that basically felt like it was for Neb carte blanche to just go explore. Yeah, we've got a thing we're supposed to go do. We've got, a world to save. But then after that, or even before that, maybe we should go talk to some whales. So it really did feel like, the person that was our chaperone just let us go run around the museum.
What gives you all the bad Ivy vibes? I admit, I am a little just like Neb in that I will take things at face value. It's wonderful for getting surprised by twists in a story, by the way. But very face value. What do y'all have a conscious sense of the vibes that you're picking up that lead you to distrust?
The insight checks I did on her where I could tell she was lying to us. I mean, that I think that is a big piece of it. And
the fact that she ran. I mean,
yeah, the fact that she ran, and also the fairy tale book. I mean, if the story we have been given is the Snow Queen, and Ivy controls ice, there are strong reasons to distrust her.
See, it's interesting because all those things that you mentioned aren't, for Lauren at least. The thing that makes me really wary is how masterfully she is at evading the questions. It's not that she doesn't answer questions. It's that she's very good about giving an answer that it doesn't necessarily give all of the information. Neb sees that, but believes that that's been because of time. That up until now, it's been because of a lack of time to talk with her or a lack of ability to talk with her. And then even in these however long we took to walk through her world, that there's just not enough time. But Lauren is way more suspicious about the circles she was able to talk around.
Yeah. I also have some suspicions related to the Julian history and that final battle where he kind of threw himself over her. But also just his sort of vanishing and becoming incredibly reclusive, and that all just seems so bizarre.
It's super bizarre. I have a theory about all of that, but I don't know how much I want to get into theory crafting yet. But but I do. I have a theory about that. That also ties into why we're getting the bad vibes from Ivy that aren't necessarily that she's evil, because I do feel like she is a complicated character. I think she's way more than just, oh, she's evil and she's manipulating. I think there's a bunch of layers there. We already know that she was changed being an Éarte, and that it's very possible that now she's out of the mirror and back home, that either that could be reversed or that'll stay with her even as she turns back into whatever she was. My gut says that her and Julian really did love each other, and that whatever happened in that battle, something went wrong, and she is misreading it. Either he really did betray her, or she's misreading it as a betrayal, and she wants revenge.
I think he was protecting everyone else from her.
Ooh.
I think that he shattered the mirror. I think he trapped her in the mirror and shattered the pieces and scattered them to keep her from doing stuff. I think that's why I think that's the vibes we were picking up in the story that she told us. And I think that I'm not sure, but one of my, I know we weren't going to talk theory crafting, but
Too late.
I think there's something about maybe shattering the ability, like shattering being a scribe into multiple pieces, and that maybe we each are a piece of that, possibly. And that they want us all together because they need us all together because together we are the scribe, but separated. I don't know.
Yeah.
These are, but we don't have enough information.
We do
to lock any of this down. So
the other thing that I was thinking about, that actually this is something that Neb has kind of thought about, that it was truly the two of them were in love. He was truly trying to protect her. In that moment, something truly went wrong. And he knew, because Neb, and I think I have some doubts. Neb is 100% that Julian is the one who basically created the puzzle that we've all had to go through. Because it's obvious that there was someone constructing all of this. So yeah, I do think if it was him, that we might be being manipulated both to save her, but also to get rid of the other rulers, because now we're powerful. All of these things have been tests, right? Tests of resolve, tests of power, test of focus, test of whatever. If we're powerful enough now that we've been able to free Ivy and destroy Talrun, then we're powerful enough to do a lot of overthrowing on behalf of the woman he loves.
It's true.
For better or for worse.
Ivy's realm was always like it is right now, broken, and that is why she left. And now that she's back, she's blaming it on what is his name? Flores.
Florin.
Florence.
Flores. Yeah.
Flores,
So that we will go and destroy them as well. And then,
Yeah.
who knows?
It's possible.
But
I'm
it's just a manipulation.
maybe
Yeah, maybe
it'll be interesting if and when we are able to talk to other people of this realm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if she's telling the truth about what happened to her world and that what we're doing will fix it and then people will come back, that could all be true. And then they'll come back and be like, well, yeah, of course she rules the world and this is all broken. But like, she was also ruling the world as a tyrant. She was also, there could be two sides to that story.
Yeah.
And
On the theory
only
craft,
one-
not on the Éarte, on the theory craft.
Well, I hate to tell y'all, there's only one way to find out, and that is to tune in next week and watch here on Demiplane at the same ruler time, same ruler channel. Thank you for all of your theory crafting, your revelations, and your thoughts, Hope, Jen, and Lauren. Real quick, tell them one more time with that beautiful succinctness where the good people can find you, starting reverse order with Jen.
You can find me on Twitter or on socials as @DreamWisp, and I stream on Twitch as DreamWispJen.
Lauren?
I have a website that I should really use because I keep it updated. It's lauren-urban.com. Go to there. It links to any of the socials that I'm active on. It links to any of the stuff that I'm doing. If you only want to see the things that I'm the most excited about, that's the most current, just go right to the front page, go to the bottom. You'll see 3 things I'm super excited about. lauren-urban.com.
Nice. And I'm Hope LaVelle. You can follow me on the socials at the Hope LaVelle. I think the biggest thing I love to plug is you can watch me as a dungeon master on Misfits of Alceta every Wednesday. We're back tomorrow after a little break, and we're in limbo, and it's really awesome, and things are about to get real. So
Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you, chat. And until next time, we're going off the Éarte.
Bye.